Here we are with another episode of the High Ground, powered by Premier Companies. Good morning, Sal.
Good morning. How we doing today?
I am great. Yourself?
Awesome.
Good. Hey, we have a guest in the house, a Premier employee. So we're going to do another spotlight on one of our fine employees, and so we'll let you introduce yourself first and foremost, and then we'll go to your question of the day.
All right. Well, my name is Katelyn Steiner. I work at the Loogootee grain facility, and I have been there since August, so roughly 9 months.
Nice. Nice. So before we really dig into all the details on you, and you've seen the list of questions that are coming your way, so we in the employee spotlights we just look to find a little bit about what you do here, personal life, a little bit, just some of the things that you want to share with us, just an opportunity to let everybody know their coworkers better, because as you know, in the large geography we cover, it's hard to get to know everyone. So we appreciate you being here. So your question of the day this morning is, Katelyn, tell us about the best pet you've ever had.
That's a tough one. I've got a couple.
Is he at
So
work today?
he is
The biggest one.
the biggest pets at work today. He may also be the biggest pain, but we won't go
I have
there.
no
You've been
doubt.
trying to train
I
him
have
now.
no
You've been
doubt.
trying to train him now for years, haven't you?
Almost 10 years and it ain't working. No, the best pet I had was an Australian Shepherd I had for 12 years. And her and I connected on a whole nother level. I could look at her and she'd know exactly what I'd want her to do.
Smart dog.
It's a very smart dog. Look at her and she'd know I'd, jump in the back of the truck. Or she'd herd the kids away from the road. Best dog I've ever had.
Neat.
Hands
Nice.
down.
Nice.
See, well, I've got a good dog too. Do you have any more stories about her or anything specific she did besides keeping the kids out of the road?
I mean, like I said, her and I connected on this whole other level. You could just be walking and she'd come up beside you and you'd be like, okay, well, I want you to go over yonder and sit down or whatever and not say it.
Yeah.
But she just kind of had this feeling and would go over and about where you wanted and
Wow.
stop.
Nice.
So,
And that was a what type?
Australian Shepherd.
Australian Shepherd.
Yeah.
Mine was a chocolate lab. I used to do a lot of waterfowl hunting, and say everybody gets one good hunting dog, and that was mine. And her name was Maggie, and she could she was a smart dog. She could do blind retrieves and just a lot of the good hunting memories with that dog. And so we still got some labs. We got a lab now. It's a silver lab. Ryan, you ever heard of a silver lab?
I had not.
So they've got chocolate labs, they got yellow labs, and they got black labs. And then a silver lab is just like those other three types, but it costs about $3,000 more.
Nice.
Yeah, right.
That's
Nice.
the kind you want. Nothing but the best for the Sama household.
Oh my gosh. It may not be that much more, but it was more money than a $500 biscuit eater dog should. Anyway,
That's interesting, because this question, the first thing I thought about this question was, I don't know that we've ever had a pet that we actually bought. We have a lot. We had a church, an old church across the road from where I grew up, and people like to dump animals behind there, and then we ended up with a lot of those. So, I've had several dogs over the years. As a kid, I remember one had a black lab that was always fun. If you wanted exercise, you could fish and exercise him at the same time, because he would jump in the water and chase your spinnerbait, and he would chase the buzz baits and stuff back. So he'd swim out when you threw it, and then he'd chase them back. So you didn't catch any fish, but you could exercise him that way. But
and then getting the treble hooks out of him.
well, he never caught it. But,
Oh my gosh.
he never caught it. So yeah, I mean, that's a tough question for me, because we've had so many. We actually have 4 stray cats right now that we've picked up out of seed warehouses over the years, and so yeah, my wife's not a huge fan. But my ideal pet would be an English bulldog. I'd like to have a big, stocky, fat English bulldog. Maybe that just struggles to breathe and doesn't want to walk a lot. That seems like a dog that I could probably hit his expectations of a good owner. Do you want to go out? Yeah, me neither. No. But anyway, so yeah, that's we've had a lot, but I guess every pet touches you in a way.
Yeah,
for sure. You get connected to all of them. So okay, well, Katelyn, tell us a little bit about your family. You've already mentioned in a sidebar comment about your husband, but So the important ones like your children and stuff.
So in disclosure, she should probably talk about her husband a
Yeah,
little
go
bit.
ahead.
He is
You
an
can go ahead.
employee.
Yeah, he is an employee.
All right. So Mark, otherwise known as Steiner, also works for Premier. He works on the Loogootee Agronomy, and he is currently a salesman, kind of a jack of all trades over there. He's been with the company for several years as well, and kind of got me brought into the company and introduced to it. And we have 2 kids. I have one from a previous relationship. She's 12. We have a son who's 7. We live out in the middle of nowhere with a little menagerie. We have a couple cows, a couple sheep, a couple pigs.
Nice.
You know.
So you couldn't even pick your favorite pet of the animals you own
Yeah,
now.
I know.
like Noah. You got 2 of everything.
Right. The kids get mad at me. No, the kids like to name their 4-H animals. And then, so when they come into the freezer, they're like, okay, well, like.
Oh, lovely.
One of the pigs was Anya dinner plate. So, get it out of the freezer. Anya dinner plate.
Sounds like they were raised right, for
yes.
sure.
So, they definitely had a little help with that, but.
Sure, absolutely.
That's funny.
That's
my little
good
girl, she was about 5 or 6 years old, I guess. The Sunday school teachers came out and they were kind of chuckling and laughing, and came up to me and Kim, and they were like, "Oh, you wouldn't believe what Kate said." And during prayer request in their Sunday school class, they went around and asked the kids that had what prayer requests they might have, and Kate said, "I'd like to pray for all the dead animals in our deep freeze that got turned into meat." And so they were just like, well, there you go.
They don't miss a trick.
No,
do
they don't.
They don't miss a trick.
Caitlin, how'd you, so you call Mark, you just call him Steiner. You call him by his last name.
I call him Steiner.
Steiner. So how did you and Steiner meet?
We actually worked for the same guy, just on different sides of his operation.
Okay.
So he had a farm side, and then he also had an insurance side. So I worked on the crop insurance side as a crop insurance CSR, and then Steiner was the farm manager. So he would come in and see the boss and whatnot. So we kind of got introduced that way.
Well, neat.
Yeah.
That's a good deal. You don't have any embarrassing stories to tell on him that you can tell on air, do you?
Not that I can tell
I
on
went
there.
to college with him. I can tell some.
That's right. I forgot that.
I won't. Go ahead.
So what kind of hobbies do you have? What do you do? Let's talk about work first. Let's get work out of the way. So what do you do at Premier Ag, Caitlin?
So at Premier, I am the grain administrator for Loogootee Grain. I handle the scale house, and scale trucks in and out, sample them. Sometimes I will load and unload the trucks as well, depending on.
Wow.
Yeah. So just kind of.
Do you do the probe, all the automatic probe and stuff?
The probe, yep.
Yep.
Sampling the corn or the beans, and I'll write the customers the checks. So, I'm their favorite person.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Certain days of the week, I bet you are. Yeah.
Oh
for
yeah.
Sure.
Oh yeah. Hand them that check, and they're all happy. I also do the grain settlements for several of our locations.
Oh, okay.
So like the grain we send out, when we get paid for it, I check it against our tickets and BOLs to make sure we get paid for all the loads we've sent out.
So you buy the grain from our customers, from the farmers, then we turn around and we sell it again to someone else, and off it goes, right?
Off it goes.
Off it goes.
So I have to tell a funny story. One day she was loading a truck, and I don't know what happened, but he came around and it was light. So he went around and he came back around and it was light, and he came around the next time she loaded him. He was fine then. And so he come walking through to get a drink or something. And we made a comment, "What'd you finally get loaded?" He was like, "Yeah, I was afraid if I went around the building too many more times it would fall down," which I thought was that's a funny.
Jericho.
Yeah. I thought that was a fantastic reference.
How many times did he go around?
3. He
Three.
had 4 more.
Because that was the magic number.
In my defense, that was like one of the first few times I had ever loaded the truck.
Well, it's probably better to be light than heavy, though, right? Don't
Right.
they fine you or something if you're heavy?
Depends on which
Yeah.
driver.
Yeah.
Depends on which driver. This one mad yesterday because he had to unload some. So,
Yeah.
yeah, that's funny. Funny. So go ahead.
What kind of hobbies do you have? What do you like to do?
Oh, I have lots of hobbies.
All right.
So I tractor pull. I antique tractor pull, actually. So my dad and I have a 1952 Massey Harris 55
Nice.
that we take around. It's been down for a couple of years. It's in the shop, but
Huh.
getting it up and going. And then I'm very active in the White River Valley Antique Association. So it's a great big tractor and antique show in Elnora.
Antique tractors or just all kinds of
Everything.
antiques?
Everything.
Okay.
Everything.
And tractors, trucks, you name it. Got our own little village set up there. Huge flea market.
You haven't been?
No.
Wow.
To the antique show?
Yeah.
No. My whole house is full of
I was
antiques.
gonna say, it's like the Farm Progress show for my place.
Yeah. It's all my equipment. 20 years, right? So my couch and dining room tables, that's all antique.
Absolutely. Sure it is. And it is cool. I mean, that's a big deal. That's as big an event as there is in that area. So.
Yeah. I mean, there's people from all over the country that come. I mean, we have thousands of people
To Elnora.
to Elnora, Indiana, little Elnora.
You sound
Thousands?
surprised.
I am a bit, yeah.
And you're from where?
Okay. Glass houses, much.
But if you want to know how much some of these signs are that are hanging on some of these buildings around the co-op, go over there and figure it out. I wonder why you don't carry a screwdriver around with you everywhere you go.
Oh, my
Those
gosh.
things bring a lot of money. A lot of money. There was a co-op sign there last year that was $750. It was. Yeah. A metal co-op sign, $750. My mom took a picture of it and sent it to me. She said, "You want this?" I said, no, no, I'm good, thanks. But yeah, so you can figure out what
Wow.
your stuff's worth there. So what do you like? Let's jump back to your job for a minute. What do you like most about your job?
Oh, I like interacting with the customers. You know, as they come in, a lot of the customers that we get at the grain facility are ones that I had back from my crop insurance days. So I already have connections and everything built there. So it's kind of nice to keep those connections going and just, I don't know, see everyone.
Sure. There are times a year I'm sure you see a lot.
Oh, yeah.
I hunker down there every couple days a week and utilize one of those offices. And when it's not busy, though, it is one of the quietest places that you can be at. I mean, there's a seed operation there as well, so they keep things hopping. But I'm sure harvest is a different story. So
Oh, yeah.
just a different story. So what's your funniest? Do you have a funny memory or a favorite memory so far at Premier? I know you've not been here too long, but it doesn't take long around
it
here for
doesn't.
something funny to
It
come
can
up.
happen any day. Yeah.
I'm just glad for indoor plumbing now.
Yeah, that is true. There's a story behind that.
There is. Let's go ahead and tell it. Okay.
So,
With your infatuation with antique stuff, I'm surprised that didn't fit right down in.
For our listeners, we have good plumbing at all the locations except for
Now.
Yeah. So we had y'all in a construction trailer for quite a while, didn't we?
Yeah.
As they were building the office,
several years.
and
With Porta John.
it was a
Yeah.
nice porta john. Although in the wintertime it wasn't.
I'm guessing it.
You're right. We can't.
I'm guessing it wasn't. Yeah, for sure.
But you have a nice facility now.
Oh, it's wonderful.
Yeah,
It's
is.
very nice.
Do you miss your coworkers because you and Aaron and everybody was piled in that little construction trailer for so long?
Well, yeah, it was nice because like you didn't have to, excuse me, hardly raise your voice at all to talk to each other. You just turn around and everybody was right there.
Nowhere on the intercom buttons on the phones in that trailer.
Pretty much like sitting around this table almost.
It really was.
Yeah.
Now you have to yell at each other and you may or may not hear them.
Yeah,
So,
or at least you can act like you didn't.
yeah.
So, anything else, Sal?
I can't think of anything. Do you have any other things, or what's some of your best memories already? Just in the first 9 months or less than a year at Premier Ag?
Just getting to see how the company as a whole, interacts and everything, all the different ways that the company supports its employees and the customers, and it's just been fun. I can't wait to see what the next several years hopefully bring.
It's going to be fun. And even doing something like this so that different coworkers can see some of their coworkers that they haven't met yet, and we're a big company, but we don't act like it, and that's a lot of fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, well, Ryan, that's all I've got.
That's all I've got. Caitlin, thank you so much for being here. It was good to get to know you a little bit. I'm sure everyone will appreciate it, and we like these employee spotlights. They've turned out to be a nice addition. So thank you so much. Anything else you want to add before we go?
Just thank you guys for having me.
Okay, great. That's another episode of the Hot Ground powered by Premier Companies. Thank you.